What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Tuesday night Q&A Hangout. I know I'm a little late. There was a lot of NFL news that dropped, and we were in the middle of a video for the second channel, Cole Breaks the Huddle. Pretty much had to scrap most of the video and then update because Stephon Diggs signed a 3-year deal worth up to $69 million with the New England Patriots. And then Russell Let's Ride Wilson is a New York Giant signing a 1-year, $10.5 million deal with them. That's up to 21 million or so. My computer just froze and it threw me off for a second. But yeah, that is what kind of happened and spawned my tardiness. But we are here. It's kind of the calm before the NFL draft storm. You know, you're going to have maybe a few signings between now and the draft, but the Chiefs pretty much have their roster in a pretty good place. They've added a lot to the D-line over the last week. Tillery, that's going to be probably your Turk Wharton guy. In theory, for now, they're probably going to add another in the draft. What else? You then got Marlon Tuipulotu. He's just a depth guy. But then you brought back Charles Omenihu. Then there's another one on the line I feel like that they just added recently. So they're in a pretty good place, I feel like, with the line. Mike Pennell, which is awesome. But then you've added a couple corners to the secondary, Christian Fulton, and then another guy late last week on Friday. I'm trying to even remember his name. I don't have the list pulled up, so someone's going to comment and say, why don't you have a list? Well, I probably should have a list. Probably should. But then the massive moves that they made early, you franchise tag Trey Smith, you got Nick Bolton on a 3-year deal, and then you've got Jalen Moore on a 2-year deal, the left tackle. You've got Elijah Mitchell in the running back room. You're going into this portion of free agency where you're not going to have to make any major moves. There's no desperation. You're not the Giants trying to get their starting quarterback still. They just got their starting quarterback today in Russell Wilson after signing Jameis Winston last week. But the Chiefs aren't doing anything insane like that. The New England Patriots were trying to find a wide receiver one. I don't know if that's Diggs, 30 years old, about to be 31, 3-year deal worth up to $69 million. The Chiefs are in a pretty good place, especially early, that even before the moves I just mentioned. They added Hollywood Brown back. You don't have to go into the draft super needy, super desperate. Do you need players at a few position groups? I mean, absolutely, of course. I saw a comment recently said, all you do is talk about the defense. Well, I feel like the defense for a while is what was needed to be focused on, and they were signing predominantly defensive players. So that just kind of is what it is. You talk about the moves that the Chiefs make. The O-line, we'll see. I don't know what they're going to do about the left guard spot, but I will say they elevated and upgraded their left tackle spot for sure. Jalen Moore compared to who? Wanye, Kingsley, pick your poison over there. I feel like the left tackle spot's in a better place. The left guard spot is a question mark. I don't know what they're going to do there. You have Creed at center, Trey Smith, obviously, right guard. Hopefully they get a long-term deal done with him, and then Juwan at right tackle. The left guard spot is a concern for sure, but I don't know what they're going to do. So we just kind of we're in a holding pattern until the draft. You could backfill that with somebody already rostered. People have been talking about Kingsley Suamataia being the left guard. He has no guard experience, not really, other than what he practiced to potentially be last year, filling in for Mike Caliendo if he got injured. You have Hunter Norzad on the roster. He's played some guard in his college career. He played all 4 of 5 spots on the O-line in college. I mean, there's a couple options, and then maybe in the draft, you go and get somebody, an offensive lineman. I don't know that it's early per se. Maybe they get a tackle early if Josh Simmons falls or something. But you go into the draft right now, there's not a major need. There's not a major need, and that's where you want to be. That is where you want to be. John Kim said they should draft Tyler Booker. So about Tyler Booker, he was recently just mocked to the Chiefs, pick 31, semi-recently. The guard out of Alabama. I mean, I would be a little surprised, I guess, if they took Tyler Booker round 1, but he's getting mocked round 1. Some people are just saying, well, don't put that much emphasis on a guard. Well, I mean, It just depends on how the board falls. If the Chiefs are super high on Booker, all the tackles are gone. Defensive tackles that they feel like was a first-round grade are gone. They don't want to reach on a defensive tackle that they're confident they could get either round 2, round 3, something like that. You could see some random other position group, best player available, taken. Wide receiver, cornerback, I guess you can't rule that out. Safety, you couldn't rule that out. Defensive end, still can't rule that out. You can get out of Dana's contract next year. He's on a 1-year deal. George Karlaftis is on the last year of his deal if they don't pick up his 5th-year option. FAU is question mark. So, yeah, I think we could see them maybe even surprise us in round 1. It's like, oh, I didn't know that you needed that position that badly, but if it's best player available, remember they have 3 other top 100 picks in the draft. They have 3 other top 100 picks in the draft. I was just checking my audio because I feel like I'm glitching. Am I glitching to you guys? Let me know. I'm going to switch cameras so I can then see chat a little bit better. Was I glitching in that angle? Let me know, because I was like recording or talking to you guys and I can look into the teleprompter here and I felt like I was glitching. No glitch. All right, so it's just on my end. Fair enough. I'm glad. Marcus, thank you for the gifted. Sean with the membership as well. Let's go. No glitching. Good, good, good. Good, good, good. Let's see what's some of the questions you got. Cole, do you think the Chiefs could possibly draft a CB2? I think they have a CB2 between Jalen Watson and Christian Fulton. But if you're saying, hey, CB2, maybe even of the future, yeah, I think they absolutely can. You can never have too much depth at that position. And Jalen Watson's on the last year of his deal. Christian Fulton's only on a 2-year deal. You've got McDuffie. You could 5th-year option him and even franchise tag him if you had to do that. So there is a little bit of longevity with a couple of the guys, but outside of that, Jalen Watson, last year of his deal. Joshua Williams, last year of his deal. I believe Najee Johnson, he's not technically still on his rookie deal. He was tendered. He hasn't signed that yet. I don't really know how his contract looks like, but there are several cornerbacks that could potentially be free agents next year. And so, yeah, I absolutely think they could draft another cornerback in this draft. You could even see a corner taken early. I don't think you have to, but if somebody they're very high on, somebody that's often getting taken somewhere in the teens in the draft, fall, I mean, the Chiefs could, in theory, trade up to go get a guy, like they did with McDuffie. The difference there with McDuffie is you had the plethora of draft picks that you got from the Tyreek Hill trade, right? So the Chiefs had the ability to go up and get Trent McDuffie, and they also drafted George Karlaftis in round 1, too. Yo, Marcus with the 10. Hey, Cole, good to see you, buddy. Hope you and the fam are well. Thanks, man. Thanks for being a digestible, trustworthy source for the draft. Oh, boy. For the draft, your channel's growth is well-deserved. Thanks, man. I feel like I am not, the draft isn't my strong suit, but in my pre-recorded scripted videos, we are doing research and trying to dive into potential options for the Chiefs. There are some other channels that are doing way better job than me when it comes to the draft. Shout out KCSN. Get their draft guide when it comes out next week or 2 weeks from now. There's some national draft channels that I follow, guys that kind of cover the whole league. Hold on, I got a cough. That franchise guy, Marcus Whitman, and then a guy we've had on the channel quite a bit, Football Analysis, Garrett. Their draft stuff is really, really good. But in my pre-recorded videos, I am trying to give draft content in a digestible manner without going super in depth. I'm not going to do any mock drafts on this channel or anything like that. But I'm sure there's other Chiefs channels that I didn't even mention that are doing great draft content. I'm not really sure, but I'm assuming so. But heck yeah. Appreciate the kind words and thanks for the 10 bomb, man. I don't know if you saw my comment about Taj Brooks in one of your previous videos or not, but you think he'd be a good fit? Yeah, so asking me about specific people, tell me what round you think the Chiefs could get him in. That would be helpful to me because I know he's a running back, but I'm not really sure where he's slotted to potentially go. 229 pounds, 5'10", out of Texas Tech. So obviously Mahomes' college. I'm not sure where he is slated to go. But this running back class is so deep, man. the Chiefs could probably get another guy late round. I'm not really sure where he's supposed to be going. Do you ever stream on Twitch? I do not. Mel Kiper. Yeah, Mel Kiper's good. Does he have a YouTube channel? I don't know. But there's like some draft guys that I also look at. So Daniel Jeremiah, Mel Kiper, Nate Tice. There's several guys that are putting out really good draft content. So yeah, it's not just YouTubers. I just am on YouTube quite a bit. That's where I consume a lot of my content. But yeah, this running back class is so deep that you could easily get a guy later in the rounds. I've talked about some of the guys that the Chiefs could potentially get early. Travion Henderson, I don't know that he falls, or Omarion Hampton. I don't know that either of those guys fall. Caleb Johnson, Quinshon Judkins, Dylan Sampson. I do like Dylan Sampson a lot, actually. He's got some fumble issues late in the last season in college out of Tennessee, like that are a little concerning, but I do like Dylan Sampson a lot. I mean, I'd be curious to know some of your guys' thoughts on Sampson. He could potentially be a guy, but yeah, the thing is, this is such a deep class. There could be a running back that the Chiefs take round 5, round 6. You just never really know, and he could be a valuable starter for the team. I feel like the Chiefs don't place as high of an emphasis on running backs as other teams do. I kind of wish they did. I absolutely wish, or hope rather, that they do take more of a priority in getting a playmaker back there. That's not a diss to anybody. Like Elijah Mitchell could be a playmaker. We'll see. He didn't play last year because of the hamstring. Kareem Hunt is going to have a full offseason under his belt to get up to speed by the start of the regular season. And then Isaiah Pacheco, last year of his rookie deal, but he's going to be another year removed from the ankle injury. So the running back room could have more explosiveness than it did last year. It was literally like 32nd in the NFL. But if you could add a playmaker into the room, I would definitely like it. I think it's needed. And just for longevity in the running back room. All these guys are on 1-year deals, and then Pacheco's on the last year of his deal. Yes, Carson Steele is still under contract for what that's worth. He is kind of the tweener, fullback, running back hybrid. I mean, he could probably take a step up in year 2, but I'm not even saying he's a roster lock. Not like a 100% guaranteed roster lock at this point in time, especially if they draft a running back as well, because then you're going to have Pacheco, Elijah Mitchell, Kareem Hunt, drafted running back 4, and then Carson Steele as well. You could easily roll with 5. I'm just saying it's not so simple. It doesn't matter about a running back if Andy doesn't give them the rock. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, in Andy's system, you have to be able to do multiple things as a running back. You're not running a whole lot. Sometimes the Chiefs run in the bottom half of the league every single year from a run to pass play percentage. But if they had a truly dynamic guy back there, I am sure he would be willing to give that guy the ball more. You just want to take advantage of whatever the defense is giving you and make them pay. A truly dynamic running back room would also help the passing game of the Chiefs as well. JJ said, who would you take in the first? Well, let me answer this first because it might tie right into it, JJ. Casey, thank you so much for the 20 bomb. He said, I think for sure now we can take best player available at 31. I kind of agree, but it still leans offensive tackle, defensive tackle, maybe a little more towards DT due to age. But if a stud linebacker falls or other, we would be good. Almost 300,000 subs on the channel. Congrats. Thank you, man. Yeah, I don't even know what we're at. 280 something, 281, 282. But yeah, we are slowly but surely creeping towards the 300K mark, which is pretty cool. I never anticipated the growth of the channel, but man, I appreciate you. Thank you for the 20 bomb. Yeah, I mean, depending on how the board falls, I would probably put money down. Like if you said, hey, you got to put money down on a position group that the Chiefs are going to draft pick 31, I'm still probably going offensive tackle or D-line. I am not even going to rule out an edge rusher if the right defensive end falls. I'm not going to rule out defensive tackle either. But yeah, they are not in a place where they have to take a particular position in round 1. But you're right. When you say due to age, you're talking about just the D-line room as a whole, maybe defensive tackle room as a whole. Chris Jones is 30, maybe soon to be 31. Obviously, Mike Pennell is 34. So those are a couple of guys that you need a body, high motor guy that can come in and instantly contribute. Tillery will see an uptick in snaps, probably even more so than he saw in Minnesota. He's only 26, 27, so that's helpful. But yeah, infusing some youth into the interior would definitely be a good thing. I mean, they also got a couple other guys. They got Fabian Lovett. We'll see what happens there. There's another guy that he's an Islander, I think. Maybe Samoan. The name is escaping me right now, and it's very hard to pronounce. Skyy, yeah, I'll look it up because I'm just going to butcher it. If I just go to Chiefs roster, I'll find him pretty quick. But yeah, so they have a few other guys, but as far as like actual starters in this room, what's his name? Siaki Ika. Dude. God. That's like relearning like when Kingsley Suamataia got drafted. I had to like stand in the mirror and just say his last name on repeat. Like over and over. Marcus. Oh, I forgot. Member stream date by any chance? Yeah, today's Tuesday. I mean, we're probably going to do Thursday, the 27th. So that's in 2 days. Members stream and Zoom call. One of my editors is out of town for those 2 days. That'll be a good evening to do that. And it's one of the last evenings, obviously, of March. I will confirm tomorrow for sure. I will talk with my boss, a.k.a. Danny, and see if we should do the 27th, Thursday night, or actually do something on Sunday since we don't have games anymore. I'll try to make Thursday night happen. That's probably the preferred when most people have an evening, they're off work and all that. So that'll be the goal. That'll definitely be the goal. Thank you for the 2 bomb. Kia Mystic. KIA Mystic with the 2. If all wide receivers got cut, who's your dream room for KC? Well, thanks for the 2. Man, the thing is I kind of like a few. So there's a few that I wouldn't want to get cut at all. I don't want to see Worthy gone. I don't want to see Rice gone. And I don't want to see Hollywood Brown gone either, really. So those are 3 that I'm just going to hold on to. Let's say everybody else is gone. I mean, is there cash limits? Is there team limits? Because in the free agency, everybody's gone. Stephon Diggs is gone. But if the Travis Kelce's gone next year, huge cap hit. Go get me a playmaker in the room, but my brain won't let me go too far out of major hypotheticals because it's just never going to happen. I think you just draft another guy. Early-ish. I mean, I would love like somebody like Justin Jefferson on the team, just somebody that is a true threat that demands a ton of attention. Basically like Kelce. It's not the same, but like when Kelce is out on the field, obviously he hasn't looked the same the last couple of years. I get it, but he's still productive. But like, I'm talking about when a guy gets on the field, they're like, oh, he's out here, and Rice is out here, and Worthy's out here. Oh, my God. You know what I mean? So that would be fun. It's not realistic at all, but it would be fun. Song says, I'm behind. Giants signed Wilson. Yeah, Russell Wilson signed a 1-year deal with the Giants. He reportedly wanted like $20 to $30 million a year, but he got a $10 million deal worth up to $21 million. Speaking of wide receivers, by the way, Rashee Rice has been posting a bunch of workout footage, and his knee is looking pretty good. I'm definitely not concerned about his knee and his health to start the season. I am going to be watching more about the suspension that's potentially coming to start the season or somewhere during the season. How many games? I don't know, 2 to 4 for the car crash and flea situation that happened last offseason. We're still dealing with that. He's still going through the criminal case, I believe, and then one of the civil cases, or 2 civil cases as well. We don't have an update on those at this point in time, so we'll see. But I am excited for Rice next year, 100%. Just got to get the suspension done and out of the way. Giants brass begging to get fired. Well, Mark, I won't spend too much time on it, but they signed Russell Wilson because he does, out of their options, give them the best chance to win now. If you go look up records of first-round rookies that are drafted, they're win-loss record their rookie year over the last 10 years. It's not good. It's actually pretty bad. And Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen are on the hot seat. So their best chance to win now is still probably Russell Wilson, because I don't think Aaron Rodgers was interested at all. He is interested in the Steelers, and that's probably going to happen. Almost confirms that it's going to happen, because he's not going to the Browns. They can't afford him. So he's going to the Steelers. But Russell Wilson gives him the best chance to win now, this year, out of the options that they had. Better than Jameis Winston. You could still draft a quarterback, but he's not going to give you your best chance to win. If they don't do decent and almost make a playoff push, I think Daboll and maybe Joe Schoen are gone. Some truly hate sports, but I like both. What's the other sport? What's the other sport? Yo, Falcon. Just saw the thumbnail. Must be offseason if we saw Justin Ross-ish again. Okay, so yeah, so the thumbnail is just me trolling around a little bit. We'll see. Justin Ross is on the roster. But the reason why I put Worthy on there, who was a first-round pick, and then I put Justin Ross on there, who's a UDFA. So it kind of spans the spectrum of what we're going to see happen in a month. Roughly a month. You're going to see the Chiefs get some real playmakers in round one early in the draft, some guys to fill roster needs later on in the draft, hopefully still best player available type stuff. But then you're going to see them sign some UDFAs, and you never know who could make it, who could contribute, and how that could turn out. One UDFA that really turned out was Tershawn Wharton. Had a really productive year last year in particular, came off of an ACL tear a couple seasons prior, and then got a 3-year, $54 million deal with the Patriots. No, with the Panthers. Wrong team that starts with a P. With the Panthers, I'm thinking Patriots because Stephon Diggs signed a 3-year deal with them today. But you have to root for UDFAs. Like, they can still make a difference. And so I'm not saying Justin Ross is going to do anything crazy this year, but I wanted to put the polar opposites of the spectrum from first-round pick to UDFA. The draft craziness is almost here. And I put Justin Ross on there just to kind of be funny a little bit. But you never know. That's not Justin Ross disrespect. Like, if he makes his way onto the roster and can contribute, I'm all for it. I don't really know what to expect. I don't know what to expect of him or Skyy Moore, to be honest. Is Kelsey retiring after the season? I mean, most likely, yeah. Thoughts on Puka Nacua saying he's going to retire at 30? I didn't see that. Did he say that in a podcast or something? I didn't see that. I mean, those are pretty good ages. Those are pretty good ages, man, to be done in the NFL. If your NFL career can make it to 30, that's insane in a good way. The average lifespan of an NFL player is not that long. 3 to 4 years, maybe at most. Andy said UDFA to $18 million per year is incredible. I agree. I definitely agree. Yeah, Nico Remigio, he's probably, if I look at everybody on the roster right now, and that includes Tyquan Thornton, former second-round pick, I think, of the Patriots that signed to the practice squad last year. I think the Chiefs might have claimed him off waivers. If I had to look at all of them, I mean, we're definitely saying Rice makes it. Obviously, Worthy makes it. Hollywood Brown makes it. And then probably Nico Remigio makes it as the returner and a depth piece guy. That's where it's leaning right now. Skyy Moore's going to fight Justin Ross, Tyquan Thornton. Maybe you draft a guy. Like, there's going to be some guys still in the mix for sure. You want the Chiefs to take Quinshon Judkins? I mean, he would be a fun pick, man. Started to dig a little bit more into the running back room recently, just the first couple of rounds. But Judkins, man, I mean, he's a lot of fun. He's one of the 2 really fun running backs out of Ohio State. And I saw a recent mock draft that showed the Chiefs taking both. Somehow they were able to get Judkins and Travion Henderson. You had to trade up for Judkins. I don't think that they'd get 2 running backs per se, but I like what I've seen out of Quinshon Judkins. And as I studied the running back room, he is a guy that would love to see in KC. Will he even be available in the first round? Maybe, but will the Chiefs really take another running back in round 1? Just depends on how the board falls. I'm not going to put a lot of money on that, but you never know. Mark said Sky less. God bless America. Is Rashee Rice starting? I mean, probably, Chris, but it just depends on his suspension that's incoming. Does it start the season? Does he start the season suspended? What does that even look like? We don't know yet. You didn't realize Creed Humphrey is the best? Yeah, man. I mean, ever since Jason Kelce retired, I think it's pretty unanimous across the league. They'd put Creed Humphrey at the best center in the NFL. I mean, if you don't put Creed, who are you going to argue now that Kelce retired? Let me know in the chat, because I'm off the top of my head, I don't really know. Why did they let DeAndre Hopkins walk? Well, I mean, didn't the Ravens sign him to a 1 year? Was it 1 year $8 million or 1 year $6 million? The reality is with DeAndre Hopkins is he just wasn't a great fit in the Chiefs system. Maybe if Travis Kelce didn't exist, he would be a better fit, but they want a wide receiver that can create separation and get open. And they didn't really use him after the first 4 to 6 weeks. DeAndre Hopkins was barely used. So I just think he went to a team in the Ravens that maybe they'll use him a little bit better. I don't think the Chiefs were willing to give him $6 million. Will Worthy have a suspension? Most likely, yes. Yeah, Mark, somebody else asked me that recently. He said, trade rumor regarding Chris Olave. I mean, seeing a lot of discussion around potentially trading Chris Olave. Isn't he still on his rookie deal? Let me look at something. I mean, if the thought behind that is, hey, yeah, he's on the last year of his rookie deal, and then you could pick up his club option. So if the argument there is, hey, trade Chris Olave and let another team deal with his extension and all that, use draft capital and get a wide receiver early, I could kind of see the mindset behind it because the Saints are basically in cap hell. But I don't know. I would be a little surprised, I guess, if they did that. You could do it, but I don't know. He would be fun in Kansas City. What kind of draft capital would he require? He's only 24 years old, and he had a down year in 2024, but I'm pretty sure he was injured for a lot of it. Maybe double concussions. I can't remember his injury off the top of my head, but he had 1,000 yards in 2022, 1,100 in 2023, and then just 400 in 2024. But I don't know that the Chiefs, to be honest with you, if you're just asking my thought about him going to the Chiefs in particular, when you have Rice and Worthy on their rookie deal, I mean, you might as well just draft another guy, because you're going to give up draft capital for Olave and then have to extend him next year. I mean, they need to take some bigger swings in the wide receiver room in some capacity, probably starting next year when Travis Kelce is retired, if he does indeed retire after this season, which I think he probably does. That's a $20 million cap hit that's gone, and then you've got to just get more bodies, more high-quality bodies to quote-unquote try to replace the huge void that Travis Kelce is going to leave behind. And honestly, I think they were trying to do that a little bit last season. Rashee Rice was really coming on early in the season, the first 3 weeks. He ended up getting hurt week 4, out for the season. And then you saw Kelce's production skyrocket. And I don't know if that was the plan to use Travis Kelce as much as they did last year. So you're starting to see how the offense could look with Kelce not the primary guy, but I just don't know that you need to make a trade. I mean, what do you guys think? Would you trade for Chris Olave? I don't think it's needed. I mean, you've got 2 guys on their rookie deal. Draft another guy, and then we could figure out something next year, unless he's the plan for next year. But I don't know. I don't think it's needed. Braden said, no. O-line might be a reach at 31st. Going to have to trade up if so. Yeah, Kyle. I mean, if Josh Simmons falls into the early 20s, you're going to have to jump the Texans. I think the Texans are pick. Let me go. I think they're pick 23. They're either pick 23 or 25, and you would have to trade up to go get them, or to go get somebody like Josh Simmons. You're going to have to leapfrog the Texans, most likely because they traded away Laramie Tunsil to the Commanders, and they signed Cam Robinson on like a 1-year Band-Aid deal. They need tackle help pretty badly. So that's a team where if Josh Simmons falls and the Chiefs want him that bad, you're probably going to have to leapfrog 25. Thank you. Yeah, I saw a recent mock draft. They traded up to 23. The Chiefs did. with the Packers and were able to get Josh Simmons at pick 23. Obviously, mock drafts vary. Josh Simmons could go way earlier than that. I saw Josh Simmons go pretty early in another mock draft. I don't remember whose it was right now. It just varies. Mock draft mileage varies greatly. Chiefs Kingdom with the 26 months. Let's go, dude. To celebrate my 26th month of membership, what would the Chiefs need to give up to move from pick 31 to pick 26? And who might they go after there? Well, let me look at this. 2025 NFL draft. Oh, yeah, let's just do it. We'll go to a mock draft simulator. I'm not going to run a bunch of mock drafts or anything, but this might be a good way to just kind of look at it real quick. Just look at the first round. So you're saying to move up to 26? Right? Here? I mean, it's not going to demand that much. I saw the Chiefs in this recent mock, and I think it was that franchise guy, Marcus Whitman. He's pretty good with his stuff. He had the Chiefs move up to 23. And to do that, they actually gave up pick 31. They gave up their second round pick. And then it was like they got like a fourth and a fifth round pick back or something like that. And then remember, the Chiefs have 2/3 as well. They have 4 top 100 picks. I don't think to move up to 26, you'd have to give up your second round pick by any means. But you're going to have to give up. I mean, I could force the trade in the simulator. It's just not my strength. You'd have to give up at least probably one of your thirds. Somebody in chat can maybe say something a little bit more confidently with their chest than me, but because you're only moving up like 5 spots, but it is in round 1, so it gets pretty valuable. But you're saying if let's say they did it, who would you get? I don't know. It just depends. Like if you're going to move up to go get a guy, you're leapfrogging a team that you think's going to take him before he falls, which is why I say, hey, if you want somebody like Josh Simmons, you probably need to get ahead of the Texans. So you need to probably get to 23. I don't know if the Chargers are going to trade with you. You know, good luck finding some trade partners. The Chiefs have wanted to move up before, and they didn't have the right trade partner. They wanted to move back out of round 1. The year they drafted Felix Anudike-Uzomah, they wanted to move somewhere early in round 2, but they couldn't find a trade partner early enough. So, yeah, I think if you're going to move up for somebody, it's just going to be for someone you think another team could grab, and you want him enough that you're willing to give up some capital. So I would say either a defensive tackle, if you're super high on the guy, because the thing with like Xavier Worthy last year, they were afraid Worthy wasn't going to be available, and they really wanted him. They were really high on him. They went up to get him. And so if it's like Josh Simmons on offensive tackle, or a defensive tackle, maybe an edge. I'm just trying to think like what position group would they really be willing to trade up and go get? It would have to be a particular guy that they're super high on. They didn't think would fall. It could be Malachi Starks. It could just be somebody that you don't necessarily know. They're super high on him and he just falls. McDuffie wasn't predicted to fall as high as he did in the draft, or as far as he did. So yeah, it's hard to know in particular who. I mean, if they want to go get a receiver and the right guy falls, I mean, you can't really rule anything out. What happens if let me just run this. I want the Chiefs to be my team, though. I ain't doing all. Oh, yeah. Will it stop at the Chiefs? Okay, zoom out. Because every mock's so different. So it's like, look, like Omarion Hampton is available at 31 for the Chiefs. Okay? So that's why you just never know. Like mock drafts are so crazy. Because it's like, well, did Josh Simmons go? Is he still available? Because if Josh Simmons is still available, I'm probably taking him. No, he's not. He gone. Oh, he went pick 20 to the Broncos? Random. Okay. Walter Nolan's gone. Ebuka's gone. Tyler Booker's gone. Starks is gone. Luther Burden's gone in this scenario. That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, you never really know. Colston Loveland is available. could be your life after Kelsey guy, maybe. Some people are high on Derek Harmon. Scourton, I've seen him drafted to the Chiefs round 1. Omarion Hampton sitting there. I mean, that would be the Chiefs. That's what's so great, in my opinion, about where the Chiefs are. I could see them doing any of these. I could see them legit doing probably any of these guys. Maybe not. I don't know a ton enough about Harmon to be confident, but I could see them going Scourton, Loveland, or Hampton. Like, those are, and I've seen Josh Connerly Jr. go to the Chiefs there in that spot too. I mean, I don't love that one probably as much, but if they're high on him and they think they could develop him for a year and he could be your left tackle eventually, that's why the Chiefs are in such a good spot, man. Isaiah Likely after Kelsey could be an option. Yeah, Loveland won't be there. No, I don't think he will be, Kyle. I'm just saying somebody's going to fall to some degree in the draft. Are the Chiefs that high on him that they're willing to trade up? Well, history says that they will do it. They've done it a couple times. It's just who? Who is it? Which way does the board go? Like, there was some picks last year. Remember Michael Penix getting taken early? Like, there's some stuff that happens that kind of surprises you and it throws off the board. Oh, man. Jay Rivas said, which offensive line prospects like Kelvin Banks Jr. or Tyler Booker do you think would be the best fit in KC's system and why? Yeah, part of the problem, man, like even Kelvin Banks Jr., a lot of these guys are undersized. Even Josh Simmons. I know I've talked really high about him, but he's got sub 34-inch arms too. So it's just a matter of, are the Chiefs really that high on somebody that they're willing to say, hey, even if he doesn't work out at tackle, we would be pretty comfortable with sliding him inside to guard. But then you have another prospect in Kingsley Suamataia, your second round guy from the year prior, that could be your guard. It's a great question. I mean, I know that I believe Tyler Booker, wasn't he left guard? So like, if that's the guy that they're like, hey, there's Tooney. There's our Tooney replacement. You can't directly replace Tooney. He was one of the best to play the game at his position even still. But yeah, you're just going to have to look at it and say, okay, are you really willing to take a big stab at an undersized tackle? And then there's some tackles that are going to be drafted later that are more of a prototype probably for the Chiefs, or maybe not a prototype, more of just body size, arm length, height, weight, that'll fit a little bit better in the Chiefs schemes. Kingsley arms are 36. Yeah, Kingsley's a big boy. Raw traits. They really liked the idea of him at tackle, and I don't even know that you could completely rule Kingsley out completely at being a tackle for the Chiefs. I mean, maybe life after Jawan Taylor, you do find Kingsley back out at right tackle and not left tackle. Who knows? They seem to be high on him at guard. That's all we have to go on right now. Yeah, Kingsley is a big man. He is, yes, sir. Can they use their hands or not? That's what I need to know, said Kyle. No point in going through a Kingsley guy again. Yeah, that's why I'm thinking, Andy said, I feel like short arms isn't really a factor when you're talking about 1.5 inches. For whatever reason, if you go and look at all the tackles they've taken, most of them are over 34-inch arms. But like Josh Simmons, I think his are 33. It can definitely affect you, but yeah, but can they play the position? Do they understand technique? Do they have solid technique, great footwork? Sometimes the shorter arms will get you off the edge around, but you can work through some of that. Proud of you, Cole, said Antonio. Thank you, man. I appreciate the kind words. Brian said, how's all of HBTC fam? I mean, we're doing good over here. I hope everybody in the chat's doing good too, but family's doing pretty good. My wife just had a birthday in February and one of my daughters did. I turn 34 April 12th. So my birthday is coming up. We're getting ready for the draft. The off season's been nice so far. It hasn't been that long, but like it's been kind of cool to have Saturday and Sunday with my family. That does not happen, obviously, during the season. And I love the NFL season. Like There's sometimes nothing more than the week during a weeknight right now that I'm like, man, I wish NFL was on Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football. But it has been good to get some extra time in with the family, and I definitely cherish that. Night Hunter with the 30 months said, spring is in the air, free agency and draft. Ah, yes, football, baby. Gotta love it. Let's freaking go. How about those Chiefs? Let's go. Night Hunter, thanks so much for the 30 months. Dawn with the 5 said, thanks for all you do, Cole. Thanks for the kind words. It's a lot of fun. Glad to be able to do it. At the end of the day, I just get to wake up and talk about the Chiefs and then NFL on the second channel. But I grew up watching the Chiefs, and the fact that I get to do this is not lost on me, that's for sure. You forgot that Cole is older than he seems to me? 34. I'm older than most NFL players in the league, but I'm still not that old. I'm still not that old. We still hitting the prime. Let's go. Chad, thank you, man. Thoughts on bringing Kareem back, and where do you think he will end up in the running back room? Great question, Brandon. I like bringing him back. I think he deserved another go with a full offseason, OTAs, training camp, preseason, all under his belt to just get right. He'll have another year in the system from being here last year, right? So be that much more integrated into the playbook, healthier. Could he be the third down back for the Chiefs? I mean, that's an option. I bet you he holds up in pass pro. He's just not. We'll just see. If he's got the quick enough step to do it, maybe he can be the third down back, catching passes out of the backfield. Maybe they believe Elijah Mitchell can do that. Maybe they draft a guy that they believe could do that. But it is a little bit of growing pains for a running back to go from college to the NFL and just be consistent in pass pro on third downs for the Kansas City Chiefs. So we'll see. I would be curious to know what you guys think. Do you think Cole the old man? Yeah, the Storm said young pup Cole. Do you guys think? I mean, basically, Kareem Hunt said, "Hey, I'm willing to do whatever. I don't care." Same with Elijah Mitchell. He's like, "I just want to help the team win." Do you think they could use Kareem as a third down back, or maybe just a rotational pound the rock? I mean, he could definitely be your short yardage guy. Like, if you want to put money on something, I think Kareem Hunt could be the reason why Carson Steele potentially doesn't make the roster. If you want like a definite, like, this is where you could really use Kareem Hunt, short yardage situations, goal line. Kareem Hunt for sure, right there. Boom, done. Kareem Hunt has the best vision. Yeah, he really does, man. He's got some great vision. Are you worried about the left side of the line? Asks Andy. Unknown at left tackle, possibly Kingsley at left guard. And then to kind of piggyback on that, Joe C with the 2 bomb said Kingsley is young. Yeah, that's another thing about Kingsley. I don't want to give up on the guy yet. He's still very young. I think he's only 21 years old. Kingsley, so I'm at the age. I want to confirm that. He's 22. He just turned 22. January 18th. Yeah, that guy is young. So, with that being said, you still can't rule out the thought that Kingsley can develop. I don't know if he'll be a quality starting left tackle. Maybe he's your right tackle, could be guard. There is some unknowns there. That's what Andy asked. Are you worried about the left side of the line? So it's like a trade-off. I am concerned a little bit about the left guard spot with Joe Thuney gone, but I do like the left tackle that the Chiefs brought in Jalen Moore. He's going to have a higher floor than anybody that played left tackle for the Chiefs last year, and it's not really going to even be close. Now, that being said, I wish both Joe Thuney and Jalen Moore were on the left side? I mean, absolutely, but I get it. It's hard to pay Jalen Moore $15 million a year. Joe Thuney's cap hit was like $27 million. Creed Humphrey's getting $18 million a year. Trey Smith is $23.4 million right now on the franchise tag, and then Jawan Taylor, he's $20 million a year, but due to restructures, his cap hit this year is also like $27 million. I get why, but there is some concerns. I don't know. Some people watch some of my videos and they think I'm just a guy that is happy about every move the Chiefs and I think it's all going to be rainbows, butterflies, and all that. No, I mean, I don't know that I think of that. I think the coaching staff has earned the benefit of the doubt in some of these moves, though, when they've been to 5 Super Bowls in 6 years, 7 straight AFC championships. But no, do I have some concerns there about the left guard spot? I mean, absolutely, for sure. But there's nothing I can do about it. I can bring up my concerns and the reasons why. Well, Joe Tooney to Kingsley. Kingsley's never played guard before. That's a concern. So I just say, hey, if you're going in to training camp and all that with that in mind, if that's the coach's idea is saying, hey, Kingsley's left guard, you need a plan B as well. And it probably needs to be a little bit more than Mike Caliendo. And because he just got brought back. He's fine as a depth piece. But yeah, I am a little concerned there. Not concerned about left tackle nearly as much, but the left guard spot for sure. Chiefs Kingdom, baby. Yes, sir, Josh. Jawan Taylor's just overall an annoying player on the field. Yeah, when he's fine for the most part when he's not getting flagged, but the flags do annoy me. Like I have said stuff before during games in the heat of the moment. You already know. Jennifer, thank you for the gifted. Mule Deer with the 4 months. What's up, man? Random question here. You ever heard of disc golf? Yes, sir. It's season now, and I'm distracted from the NFL. It's very underrated, and I don't know why. Now, heck yeah. I mean, there's some disc golf courses here in Kansas City. I haven't played a bunch, but I have played some. I haven't gone and done like a whole course or anything like that, but I think like Frisbee is fun. It's a fun, it'd probably be a fun, relaxing sport or just something to go play with the guys. I'll tell you this, I'd probably pick that up and be better at that than I have any shot at golf. Like I just would suck at golf. So I could probably go play Frisbee golf and have an actual good time. If I go try to play golf, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to Happy Gilmore the club into the lake. That is a right turn, but no, I mean, dude, in the off season, guys, enjoy it. Whatever you do, enjoy it, man. Take the time and go have fun, man. Do something with the people you care about. Top golf, I would suck at top golf, but I could go try. $26 million a year, said Sean. I'm in the wrong profession. I think most of us are. If we're trying to make as much money as humanly possible. But that's why football players are where they're at. Like, yeah, we critique this or that because, you know, oh, they're getting paid this much money, but they're going to hold out and all that. But it's a violent sport, and not a lot of people make it that high. So when you're there, any snap could be your last snap in the NFL, so you're going to want to try to get as much money as humanly possible. If you played right tackle and left tackle is much easier, you're quicker than most guards. Played right tackle and left tackle. Playing is much easier. You're quicker than most guards. Also, Lamont, are you saying the idea of kicking a tackle inside to play guard? Well, yeah, I think that's why a lot of teams do it, because a lot of tackles, like being able to translate that skill set to the interior is a lot easier than trying to ask somebody who's in the interior already to play outside, which is why Joe Tooney did such an admirable job the back half of the season and in the playoffs. But at the end of the day, he is a guard. His ceiling can only go so high, and his floor could really only go so high. His floor just happened to be a little bit higher than any of their other options. Wanye Morris, Kingsley Suamataia, and then sadly, they brought in another tackle, and he hurt his hamstring. I'm trying to remember his name. DJ Humphries. I was like, it's not Donovan Smith. But yeah, so they definitely tried, and Joe Tooney was the best guy that they had available. But at the end of the day, yeah, he was still only a guard. People need to accept that the Chiefs are just good. Yeah, I mean, I see it all on Twitter. Like, I think some people like hate Brett Veach and Andy Reid. They think they both should walk off into the sunset. I'm not there. I think Andy Reid's one of the best coaches in the NFL. I think Brett Veach is a very good GM. But would I have liked to see some fresh blood brought into the offense for just play calling and just to infuse some new ideas? Yeah, I would have. They didn't change any of the offensive staff from what I understand. I'm talking Joe Blameyer, pass game coordinator, Connor Embry, wide receiver coach, Todd Pinkston, running backs coach, Matt Nagy, OC coach, Andy Heck, O-line coach. Maybe there's some light shuffling of assistant coaches that I just don't know about. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's so drastic that Andy Reid needs to hang it up, that Brett Veach needs to be fired. Like those are kind of wild takes to me personally. Some people could get there in their own line of reasoning. I feel like you could pick your argument and try to win it no matter what. I'm not there, but I would have liked to see some new coaching staff infused into the offense personally. Do you think DJ Humphries or another veteran could get signed to back up Jalen Moore at left tackle in the draft after the draft? That's actually a good idea, Andy. A good question too. With DJ Humphries still being available, somebody like Donovan Smith, who apparently dealt with a hip injury. Guys, we were like, hey, why don't the Chiefs sign Donovan Smith last year? You know how many times we ask that, like every single week? Well, apparently in training, off-season training, he hurt his hip or something, and it kept him out of the entire rest of the offseason. I think he probably tried to like work back. I don't know if it re-aggravated or what, but he didn't play. He couldn't sign. He wasn't healthy enough to play in the NFL. Well, he's reportedly healthy enough to play now. So somebody like Donovan Smith or DJ Humphries later on in free agency after the draft, especially if you're not getting like a round one tackle or something, like I do not hate that idea at all, because God forbid somebody like Jalen Moore gets hurt, or you just never know. The more depth you can have, the better. So to be honest with you, Andy, I actually love that idea, especially if it's relatively affordable. I think it is worth considering. Smoke and Tree said those takes are beyond crazy. Veach and Reed aren't going anywhere. Yeah. Here's the thing. When I see something online, my first thought is probably like, okay, that's insane. But then I try to, I'm like, okay, well, why are they thinking that? Is it just a bit on social media? Or do they actually have a legit line of thinking and reasoning? And so I don't often engage or ask questions, but you could typically go to the comments and try to see why they're saying that. And sometimes I'm like, okay, I guess I could see a little bit your line of reasoning. I just think it's a little drastic, to be honest with you. I mean, I would assume most of the people saying that are younger. Probably all they've known is the Chiefs winning. There's been a lot of years. I mean, I'm not the oldest Chiefs fan in the room right here, guys. Let's be honest. And I've seen a lot of losing. You guys that are older than me have seen even more losing. It was a 50-year drought in Super Bowl wins. So I'm just very grateful for the Chiefs to be here and to have the success that they've had. They're not perfect. I'm not a Brett Veach apologist or anything like that. I think he's had his misses. His best draft class was definitely 2022. I think he's had some unfortunate misses in the draft, but that's kind of just how it goes. It's kind of just how it goes. Has he asked a lot of Patrick Mahomes? Yeah. I mean, but he's one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. I mean, you put a lot on those guys' shoulders. Put a lot on the shoulders of Travis Kelce, Mahomes, and Chris Jones. They're literally blue chip, first ballot Hall of Famers. I mean, that's what you do. You put a lot on the shoulders of your leaders on the team. So, no, he hasn't been perfect. But he has hit. He's been doing better. 2022 is his best draft class, in my opinion. 2023, it's had some misses, and so did 2024, but you've had some hits as well. And then really for like 2024 draft class, you can't fully grade rookies their rookie year, like, and say, oh, that's a bust of a pick. You really can't. You probably need 3 years in the league before you can make a more decisive one way or another, yes or no, this guy's probably a bust, or where you got him in the draft didn't really pan out. I mean, the honest truth is, it also really depends on where you get drafted. Think about CEH getting drafted round 1 compared to Pacheco getting drafted round 7. I mean, even if CEH had Pacheco's stats for a couple of these seasons, I still think CEH would be thrown under the bus. Pacheco's had he's had really good production, especially for his draft status. I think we just lose sight of that sometimes, where someone's like, oh, Pacheco, yeah, he didn't play that well when he came back from surgery last year. He needs another year. But just if you look at his production overall since he was drafted, like that's been a really good pick. Trey Smith is probably like the best draft pick in recent years from where you got them in the draft to their overall production. But that's why people are so hard on like Skyy Moore, even CEH. Who else? Maybe Kingsley in the first year. I think expectations are just really high. If you're taking around top 50, top 60, people just expect so much more out of you. Like Cook is a bust too? Who? Brian Cook? Why do you say that? Who are you talking about? Brett Veach all day, Carl Peterson, goodbye, good riddance. Bye-bye. Spending more money on tight ends than wide receivers is crazy. Yeah, they're patching everything with one-year deals and backups because our last draft was garbage. We got one starter. Yeah, I need to go back. If I just go to Chiefs draft by years, I still think whoever said that, sorry, I lost your name. Oh, Captain View. I think it's hard to really weigh in too terribly much on the 2024 draft class because, yeah, Worthy was a hit. I feel like Kingsley's still a question mark. Even if he's your starting guard and he's pretty good, yeah, for a second-round pick, like, that's unfortunate, but he could be a starter. Jared Wiley, we'll see. He tore his ACL in November. Jaden Hicks could very well be one of your starting safeties this year. Yeah, Haddon's not on the team anymore, but Norzad and Hansen are offensive line depth, both really young guys. 2023, you could start making like a little bit stronger opinions because you've had 2 seasons now. Like FAU took some steps up, but I need to see more this year for sure. Like he's got to do more than like the occasional splash play. He needs to probably have 1 or 2 a game, if not even more. Rice, big hit, home run. Wanye, that's why it's hard to judge this because like if Jawan Taylor moves on and Wanye Morris is your starting right tackle and he does a pretty good job, that's fine to me, but it just took you a couple years to get there. You know what I mean? Chamari Connor, his strong suit is not in the slot. So the rest outside of the first 3, and really just these, I would say like Rice was probably the best of the class. FAU was probably really a second-round pick, but they didn't think he was going to be there when he was. If Wanye's your starting right tackle for a year or 2 after Jawan Taylor, like that's a win. Chamari Connor, he needs to get out of the slot. But yeah, BJ Thompson, he was a developmental guy, a speed rusher. They don't normally take guys like him, and then he had the health issues. Coburn's not on the team. I don't think Nick Jones is on the team either. But this is the hit year right here. I think all of these guys played, 9 out of 10 maybe, played in the Super Bowl that year. Darian Kennard did not, but I'm pretty sure McDuffie, for sure. George Karlaftis, Skyy Moore caught a touchdown, believe it or not, I think that year. Pretty sure it was that year. Brian Cook played. Leo, Joshua Williams, Jalen Watson. Yeah, Najee Johnson at the time, primarily special teams. Best class by far. 2021, some pretty good hits. I mean, Trey Smith, home run, especially for a 6th-rounder. Cornell Powell, no, he didn't really pan out. Noah Gray, that's pretty good. He's a 5th-round pick, man. Noah Gray was a pretty good hit, especially considering where you got him. Creed Humphrey, home run. Nick Bolton, I think he's a good linebacker. I know that he's more of a divisive guy in Chiefs Kingdom because of some of his physical limitations and coverage and stuff. But I mean, he was still a good pick. So, yeah, if it starts to get more rough when you start getting down here, like the 2018 class was pretty awful, if we're going to be honest with you. 2019, Veach got better. I mean, Allegretti for a 7th-round pick was great. Fenton, ups and downs. Juan Thornhill, he was a starting safety for you. Colin Saunders, I liked him in his role. And then Mecole, like, they might have reached on him a little bit out of not knowing what was going to happen with Tyreek Hill. But he had a couple productive years, and especially when he's behind Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, like, it was all right. But we might as well just look at the last 2020 class because this is all we really got left to talk about in the Veach era. CEH, yeah, didn't really work out for where he was drafted at all, especially when Jonathan Taylor was still on the board. And you could do that with every single pick, guys. You could look at all these picks and say, oh, when the Chiefs traded back from pick 50 to 54 and they got Skyy Moore and Darian Kennard, but at pick 50 or whatever it was, George Pickens was drafted. Like, I know Jonathan Taylor was still on the board here after Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You could look at this for every single pick. Think about all the people that passed on like Puka Nacua. When was he drafted? He was like later in the draft. Willie Gay was fine. Niang, I had high hopes for him. Didn't look the same after injury, and then I think he also held out. He held out COVID year, right? Snead was a hit. But here's the thing. He took a couple years, guys, to really become a more productive guy in the secondary. And so you take a couple years, but we've already got people in the comments saying everybody outside of maybe Worthy is a bust in 2024 draft class. I don't know about that. You need to wait a couple more years probably. You need to wait a couple more years. CEH was underrated? Underrated? Really? Trey Smith, Grand Slam, exactly. What's up, Football Analysis? What's up, dude? What's up, Garrett? Does Mecole go up in hindsight because he caught the game-winning touchdown against San Francisco? No. I mean, he was fine. Like, if you look at where he was in the rotation, I mean, if you look at, like, Mecole Hardman, I know you're probably just joking around, but, like, he had 538 yards, 560, 693 yards. Like, those first 3 years of production, like, if Skyy Moore had 500 to 600 yards a season, I don't think he would be. I mean, he's had like 200 yards, 150 yards. So Mecole's production compared to Skyy is not even close to the same. I don't dislike Mecole. I thought he was fine as a team's returner, but it's so funny. Some of these guys that catch these touchdown passes in the Super Bowl, Skyy Moore, Kadarius Toney, Mecole Hardman, like you just got like the most random people catching passes in the Super Bowl. You wanted Mecole Hardman to be good so bad. You loved him as a prospect. I feel like he did fit well in the Chiefs offense, but yeah, then the year after that, 2022 is when he got, I think, super hurt. He hasn't been healthy. Like he played in 8 games in 2022, 11 in 2023, 11 in, no, he played closer to a full season in 2023. No, only 11. Sorry. This is why I'm getting confused because he got traded. So it looks funny for a second. There's 3 lines in PFR for 2023, but it's because he was traded. But 11, 12. Now he's with, who's he with now? Mecole Hardman is with the Packers. Random. Skyy Moore going to shake back this year. Watch. Dude, somebody on Twitter said if Skyy Moore gets 500 yards, he will get a tattoo. Did you guys see that? Let me see if I can find it. Skyy Moore tattoo. Yep, here it is. Somebody said, if Skyy Moore has more than 500 yards this upcoming season, I will get a tattoo of a goat wearing a Skyy Moore jersey. I 100% mean it. I'm pinning this tweet. I kind of want Skyy Moore to make the roster and get 501 yards. I don't think that's going to happen, but dude, to see that, I would be there for it all day. KC Lion Squad with the 2. The whole 2018 draft class is no longer in KC. Yeah, the last one was naughty, and that's pretty accurate for most draft classes that go beyond 4 or 5 years. Not a lot of them are getting second deals. Now, I would have liked them to draft somebody that was so good they're still on the roster. Think of like Chris Jones, Travis Kelce, Mahomes. Those are 3 that have been on the roster for a long time because they are that good. None of them Veach picks, although Veach was reportedly pounding on the table for everybody to look at Mahomes the year that they drafted him. Matt KC with the 10 bomb. 3rd super on the stream. Thank you so much, man. You also became a member. Let's go, dude. Thank you so much. Hardman was supposed to be Hill's replacement while Hill had looming eagle problems. Looming legal problems. Not quite. Yeah, definitely not a direct replacement, but then Hill I don't think anything ever really happened to Hill, right? Because that was the situation with his son and all that, and nothing really came of it. So then you're behind Hill and Kelce on the depth chart. They're putting up 1,000+ yard seasons, and then Mecole's getting 500 to 600 yards. I mean, that's pretty good. He wasn't as good as maybe some thought he was, but I don't think he was as bad as some people say he was either. I think it was probably somewhere in between there. What's Mecole's contract? I think he just signed like a 1-year vet-ish-man deal with the Packers. Nothing crazy. Dave said correct. We were in not sure mode with Tyreek. Yeah. And that was a good, like, if you're going to try to get somebody that you knew could be effective in the Chiefs offense based on similar skill sets, I mean, Mecole Hardman was definitely a good one to get. Does he have 500 total yards yet? Kyle, are you talking about Skyy? I think he's got 500 well, I don't know, dude. If you're talking about Skyy Moore, he might not, dude. No, he doesn't. He has 494. 494, unless you want to add some playoff yards. 17. Okay, so he has... Wait, 17 in the playoffs. And then, yeah, 494. Yeah, he has just over 500 yards. Just over. Jennifer, thanks so much for the 1587. Appreciate you. Alexander with the 28 months. I always disliked the FAU pick. The pick was Brian Branch. We needed safety at the time, too. At the draft, my heart dropped when I heard FAU's name. Dude, Brian Branch would have been a freaking home run of a pick. Holy smokes. Yeah, I think I recently looked where FAU was taken, and there was like, who was the other guy? Tight end for the Lions. I'm blanking on his name right now, but he was available too. I understand why you're not taking him. Somebody in chat's going to know the Lions tight end's name off the top. I don't know why I can't think of it right now. I don't even know what to think, and I'm thankful for it. Heck yeah, April. I'm just going to Google it because it's going to bother me. Yeah, thank you, Laporta. Sam Laporta. Yeah, Sam Laporta and Brian Branch were drafted not long after FAU. Yeah. Yep, thanks, everybody. Everybody's like, Sam Laporta, you idiot. No. Yeah, as soon as you said the name, I was like, yep, that's who it is. He's a great tight end, too. The Chiefs didn't really need anybody then. Like, because you had Kelsey, you had Noah Gray. I understand why. But Brian Branch, like, he would have been, boom, home run. What happened to our chat buddy Puka? Did he get tired of all the Skyy hate? I don't know. Where has Puka been? Have I seen the movie Moneyball? I don't think so. But that's not a... it's from 2011 with Brad Pitt, right? I have not seen that one. But my editor, Troy, talks about it all the time. Says you need to watch Moneyball. He's the general manager of the Oakland A's. Yeah, I should probably watch it because I heard it's really good. Is Tyreek Hill getting traded? I don't know. I don't think so. I could be wrong. How old is Mahomes? He's 29, about to be 30. I don't think he's 30 yet. He's 30 in September. Yep. Miranda said, thank you. My son is freaking out that he saw a comment from us on live TV. He's a huge Chiefs fan. Thanks, Cole. Miranda, let's go. I don't know what your son's name is, but hey, man, let's go, dude. Let's go. Feel bad for Worthy. Bro didn't do anything. Oh, yeah, I talked about it in a recent video. Pretty in depth, but yeah, it's a very unfortunate situation. Polar opposite stories being told, but the DA did drop the charges, Worthy's charges, within 24 hours when he was let out of jail. He wasn't out on bond or nothing. The charges just got dropped. So for now, I don't think anything really comes of this for Worthy. He did recently file a civil suit with his ex-fiance, and he sued her. We'll see if anything goes on from that. I have no idea. But yeah, it's just pretty messy situation. Just, it sucks. I think just all the way around. Yeah, I don't want to speak too much on it just because it's still playing out. I've kind of said all I needed to say in my recent videos, but it is an unfortunate situation. Remember the Tyreek peace sign on the Bills? Yeah, some said he probably should have gotten flagged on that play. Do you think Mahomes will be a Chief for life? I hope so, BJ. I hope so. It's hard to know. I bet you Patriots fans said Tom Brady is a Patriot for life, and he moved on, and Aaron Rodgers has moved on. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I think he's going to be a Chief for a long, long time. The Super Bowl contenders from the previous season should be the picks 1 and 2. And when the rest of the top 10 picks should be in the lottery system. Dude, that would be fun. You actually get rewarded in the draft for winning. the rich would get richer in that situation, but I would not turn it down. Slamming with the 2. Should we draft wide receiver to play tight end? It's our type of tight end. Yeah, like a bigger bodied like slot guy or something. Yeah, you can't completely rule that out. Or maybe the offense, the identity shifts a little bit once Kelsey's gone, and it freshens up the scheme slightly because of that, because you're going to have to rely on multiple guys. But yeah, I mean, you could absolutely do that. I mean, Colston Loveland would be like an interesting guy too. I don't think he's going to be there, but that's a guy where it's like, well, geez, you could almost plug and play him in the Chiefs offense, because the Chiefs structure a lot of their offensive scheme around a tight end. He's probably not going to be there. But yeah, could you get a bigger bodied slot guy that works well in space, zone coverage type stuff? I mean, yeah. I'm just going to, when Kelsey is actually done, whether that's actually after this season or he signs a 1-year deal and plays again, I don't know. When he's actually done, I'm just going to keep my expectations at a reasonable level for what the offense could look like. And maybe we'll get a bigger glimpse of it this year where Kelsey's not super heavily relied upon, but that's just the connection that Mahomes and Kelsey have. I don't know if you're ever going to find that connection again. Who has a better connection? Let's be honest. In chat right now, tell me who has a better connection than Mahomes and Kelsey even in NFL history. I mean, we could probably say a few names, but is it really true? I know I'm a Chiefs homer, but I'm just like, that rapport of going off the cuff, unscripted, Mahomes knowing what Kelsey's probably going to do based on the coverage, even though it's not the play called, the route he was supposed to run. I mean, that's some absolutely insane stuff. Emperor said Cole and Danny. I'm over here, Ric Flair. Woo! Brady and Gronk. Yeah, I mean, they would definitely be in the conversation. Worthy's not in jail anymore, what you mean? Yeah, Worthy was out of jail within 24 hours. Yeah, I never said he was still there. I said he was released. He didn't have to get out on bond. The charges got dropped. They just let him go. Definitely has to be Montana Rice. That's probably the only argument. Oh, Chase and Burrow. That's a pretty good one, actually. But Kelsey and Mahomes have shown it year in and year out in the biggest of moments, helping win games, helping win Super Bowls, helping win AFC championships, see 13 seconds. Rice and Montana is probably the legit argument there. I think the connection between Jamar and Burrow is awesome, though. Gronk and Tom got to be up there. Yep, definitely. Well, heck yeah, man. I appreciate everybody hanging out. I am going to call it a day. The NFL news caused me to basically, I worked all through the day and the evening, ran up and ate dinner real quick, and then came down for the live stream to hang out with you guys, and it was a lot of fun. Be on the lookout if you're a member for the members-only live stream where we're going to give away some signed merch. We got the Zoom call as well coming up, too. I'll schedule that here soon. Appreciate everybody hanging out. Mods, thanks for holding it down. All the dono bombs, the questions, the memberships, all of it. It's always a blast to come on here and talk some Chiefs. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go.
How about the Chiefs?